The next thing is just the retake car, and basically how you line up, if you don't know it already, is that you just go on the third 1, 2, 3 here, and your mouse have to not be able to go more down, and it's just in the middle of this. Then you just aim where the roof and this pipe lines up, and you just throw it there. And then you see this more white, you just aim right at the white right here. And this will basically just do the smoke wall and the Molotov car, so they can't be here. Some teams will try and push while you Molotov, so in general when you're doing this retake car, it's very good to have a guy jiggling here. Then when this guy is doing smoke molo, he just bounces a flash in case anyone peeks, then he will kill him for sure, and you guys will have the control. And what you can do after this one is that you can either just stay passive, or you can like stand two guys top and bottom sandbags here, and in general a lot of teams will like walk up and you will just get 3 kills. But if you are afraid of a flash, the top guy can just dodge and this guy can watch. So in general you can always do so you don't have any problems, and this setup is really OP, I can say. Now we come to the passive setups, and in general one passive setup here is just that you have a very small line here where you can just aim to the left and you see if anyone is going, and then you have your teammate standing here aiming right at this line and at the bottom here. And once your teammate is seeing anything here, if they are peeking in, you will just smoke. If smokes are flying, you can always just aim to the right and smoke more to the right, because you have more time because they're doing smokes. But if they do anything explosive, you need to smoke closer to yourself, so that when they're running in, you will have an advantage when they're running through the smoke. This setup can also be used in general a lot of different ways. Like you can have one guy hiding triple, you can have one guy CT, but it's a great way to have a setup together here. The next passive setup is just where you have a guy jiggling CT here, either with molo or smoke. And then you have a second guy at the pillar just ready with a flash. In general, the good part about this is, let's say they are doing a B-pop where they just flash and go and they smoke CT while they're running. Then if you have a guy jiggling here, obviously doing good jiggle, then he can just Molotov while they're running in. This guy is either flashing or just holding. And if they run through, he will just kill them. And if he's flashing, then your CT mate can go in and kill them. But in general, I would say the flash is best if you're smoking here, because then you get the flash and you run in and your pillar guy is helping from pillar as well. If you're doing the Molotov, I think it's better that this guy is just holding and killing them when they're running through the Molotov. And then if you Molot, you will just, once your teammate is killing them, you can just smoke the Molo, and then you have it because your pillar guy killed maybe one that went in fast, and then the second one is going through smoke, and then the 3 last are behind smoke, and you have a good situation. The next passive setup that is quite OP in general, boosting triple, is really nice. You can either crouch down here or you can just stand up at the end here. And both ways you are not really getting blind by anything. There's only really one flash that can make you blind, which some pro teams are using. But in general, even a lot of pro teams are not using it. So boost triple is really OP. Not if the teams are like walking in, but if they are doing any kind of executes, it's really OP. And the second guy can, like you saw G2 making a setup with a one-way smoke here, but this is quite easy to read now because they used it once, so now it's easy to understand. Like when the smoke is coming, there's one second guy and one boosted. So in general, I will not recommend using this smoke anymore. I would just recommend standing like pillar. Sometimes this guy can bait if he feels like they're walking in, else he can just hide and wait for the triple guy's contact, and then you have a good crossfire and can just kill them together. Obviously you can switch it up a lot. You can play coils, you can play just second hiding and let the triple guy get first kills, and then you can get the next tiers here. Even if you have a third guy who can B, you can boost one guy up and he can just go A again. So there's a lot of things you can do out from being triple boost, but in general, like, triple boost is very OP unless they walk in a lot, but you just need to understand which kind of team or which kind of players you are playing against and use it to your advantage. The next passive setup is, in general, if you have a mate playing around this area, like triple or pillar with a smoke. This is what you see Perfecto do a lot, just smoking in the middle here, playing around the smoke. Obviously the smoke should be a little bit deeper, but he's just all the time playing around the smoke, getting flashbangs from his teammates. And this is the key thing. If you're playing like this, you need to flash over the roof here on a good timing. So when the T's are beginning to come all the way up here, this is the timing you want the flash, because if they're already still in the pool, they can just be here, get blind and dodge, and then your teammate doesn't really get so much out of it. So the best thing would be you're doing the smoke, then when you feel like they are up around the side, you call the flash, and then you just aim here, and they will be blind even if one guy is in pool and one guy is upside. Then you just kill the side guy, you chill, go behind triple, you can call one more flash, maybe another teammate is coming, and this way you're all the time playing time, you are getting good kills on the flash, and you can play yourself out from the situation. Obviously the biggest counter for this is that the T's is just running instantly up left side and try to catch you before you can get a flash. This is mostly in pro teams. It's happening that people understand that you need to do this, but obviously you can still catch a timing. Even if you're triple here, you can just kill this guy running up, call the flash, and then kill second guy here. So it's all about playing the round, understand what is going on, what is T's doing, and expect the unexpected, and all the time be aware of what is going on. And this is in general for the B side. Like, you really need to be adaptive. You need to understand how the other team is playing and what is good against what. The last passive setup I want to show you guys is basically just boosting a guy's CT. He will just stand up here and he will just dodge, and when they are coming in, he can kill them in the back. The biggest thing about boost CT in general, in the beginning it was very meta to have one guy standing here baiting while they're running in. The problem with that is that it's very obvious nowadays if this is happening. People will most likely be ready to clear boost. So in general, if you have a guy boosted CT, I would recommend having a guy actually trying to take attention from the CT guy, which would mean either playing like pillar, taking first duel, hiding behind pillar, and then letting the CT guy kill the next guy. Even if you don't kill the first guy, you just try and stay alive. The same with triple. You can maybe take a few bullets here or try to kill first guy if you feel like it, and then the boosted CT guy will kill the next, and then you can bounce again. This way you are baiting for each other. But I do think that the boost CT guy, like, you need some kind of bait nowadays, else it's simply too easy to read, at least when it's against good teams. Obviously, if it's in POX, if it's like something like this, boost CT with one guy CT can obviously also work. I've seen all the comments that you guys have made, such as these, and I really appreciate all the love I have gotten. It really warms my heart. If you want to support me extra for the content I'm putting out, I have opened up a Patreon. There's perks such as demo review of you or your team, shout out at the end of the YouTube videos, access to 2 exclusive videos that are too good to go out on YouTube. Find the link down in the description. Holding B is really about understanding what the other team is doing, being adaptive and understanding the situation. It's all about the micro timings in banana and on B side. So I want to go through a bit of these passive setups, what is good against what. So in general, this setup where you're jiggling is very good against any kind of B-pops if they're just flashing over and smoking CT and running in fast. This is very good because then you will just kill them in the opening. The same thing kind of goes for the boost triple. In general, yeah, those two things are very good against B-pop because they will just go into your setup and you will most likely crush them. the thing about boost triple, it's not a good against people walking in, so be very careful with that. If the T's, especially if you're playing pucks, it can be a lot of players just walking in, so be a bit careful with that. Then it's better if they like to just walk in, it's better to play this setup with the smoke or molo here with one guy pillar, or the other setup where you had one guy here. If they like to walk in, then you will get the information here and this guy will just smoke. So this is clearly the best if they walk in. It might not be so good to B explode this, so if they like to explode with one flash, this can get a bit risky. It will not always pan out to your advantage. But if they like to walk in, it's very good. If they are doing B execute, like doing smoke slow, doing molotovs, doing flashes, then this one is also very good.